5 Huge Coronation Street Spoilers next week. The hunt is on for killer Stephen Reed, airing from the 9th to the 13th of October 2023. 1. Carla has a warning for Jenny. A frustrated Carla is convinced that Stephen drugged her with LSD, but without evidence the police can't prove it. But when Carla finds a printout of one-way tickets to Thailand in the office, she convinces DS Swain that Stephen is a flight risk. Ignoring Swain's instruction to tell no one, Carla explains to Jenny Connor that the police are investigating Stephen, and she implores Jenny not to leave for Thailand with him as she could be running off with a murderer. Will Jenny listen? 2. Has Stephen murdered Tim? Tim is distracted from wife Sally's plans for their wedding anniversary by a passing mention from Brian Packham. Brian tells Tim of Stephen's interest in the canal dredging project, and it gets Tim's cogs whirring. On the canal towpath, Tim finds a discarded boat hook and starts poking about in the water when a corpse's hand floats to the surface. Fleeing back to his cab, Tim dials 999 and reports finding a dead body. But the phone cuts out, and before he can call back, Stephen climbs into the backseat of his cab. Stephen tries to strangle Tim with a tie, and Tim makes a bid for freedom, only to trip on his shoelace. As Tim clambers to his feet, he's knocked unconscious by Stephen with a brick. A furious Sally assumes that Tim has gone to the Weatherfield County football match with Kevin Webster, but her husband is actually fighting for his life in the boot of his car, which is now being doused in petrol. Has Stephen killed Tim? Say it isn't so, Corrie. 3. A body is dredged up from the canal. A seemingly calm and collected Stephen arrives back on the cobbles, smoothly bypassing Jenny as he heads straight for the shower to wash away the traces of blood and fuel. He then calls the airline to confirm his flight for the following day. But the police have acted on Tim's call, and they are seen lifting a roof box from the murky waters of the canal. DS Swain and Craig Tinker shudder to see that it contains human remains. Viewers will recall that the body is that of Teddy Tompkins, father of Stephen's first victim, the recently unearthed Leo. 4. Audrey confronts Stephen as the Platts reel. The Platts are stunned when Sarah Barlow breaks the news of Stephen defrauding Audrey and drugging Carla. As Stephen leaves his flat, he is attacked by Carla's husband Peter Barlow, but Audrey arrives and sends Peter packing. Stephen's relief soon turns to horror when Audrey accuses him of stealing her house. How will Stephen react? Executive producer Ian McLeod told RadioTimes.com and other press last year that Stephen would not be looking to kill Mum Audrey, but hinted at the effect his actions would have on the matriarch. How will Audrey cope when she realizes that her son is a serial killer? 5. The hunt is on for Stephen amid desperate escape. Sally panics when Kevin tells her that Tim didn't go to the football match with him and Kirk Sutherland. When Elaine Jones reports that the Platts now believe Stephen murdered anyone who got in his way, Sally feels sick as it dawns on her that Tim was one such person. Stephen's colleague Michael Bailey is still oblivious, though, and a calm Stephen tricks Michael into enabling him to transfer the full Underworld account balance into a bogus account he has set up. Carla gets a notification of the transfer and is left stunned. DS Swain learns that Stephen has brought forward his flight from Manchester to Bangkok to that very day. She hurries to the airport to intercept him, but will she make it in time to stop Stephen? As the shocked residents realize they've been living alongside a murderer, the hunt is on to find Stephen before he can add to his death toll. But are they too late?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của OK Street Spoiler. Trong video này, chúng tôi đã tiết lộ các bạn 14 tình tiết mới nhất bộ phim Extender sẽ diễn ra trong tuần tới từ ngày 10 đến ngày 13 tháng 4 năm 2023. Điều gì sẽ xảy ra ở Watford? Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở video tiếp theo.